Welcome to the graduation of the class of 2020. We are here today to celebrate our seniors. On March 16, 2020, our governor, Mike DeWine, changed the course of your senior year. He closed schools for an extended spring break to flatten the curve for the pandemic, coronavirus, or COVID-19. We didn't go back. This pandemic will go down in history. You will be remembered as the class that earned deep respect for perseverance. We hope you enjoy this production of your virtual graduation.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon. I would like to welcome everyone to our 2020 commencement ceremony. While this is not the way it was supposed to end for these young men and women, it is still an important moment in each one of their lives that needs to be recognized and celebrated. While this is a day of great excitement and celebration, it is also a day in which we remember and honor the life of Ariel Stout. Ariel passed away unexpectedly on May 14, 2020, as the result of an automobile accident. She leaves behind many friends and family members, including a son, Zaylor Lee Stout Kaiser. Our thoughts and prayers continue to go out to Ariel's family during this difficult time. She will forever remain in our hearts. In my daily readings, I came across a letter written by John Gordon, author of the New York Times bestseller, The Energy Bus. It was a letter written to the class of 2020, and I would like to now share that with you. Dear graduate, this virus may have stolen your senior year and graduation, but it cannot and will not steal your future. While you will always remember this painful time, you will also be the generation that does not take anything for granted. You know what it is like to have something taken away from you in a moment, and as a result, you will appreciate what you have when you have it. You will value your relationships, make the most of your opportunities, and create a great future. I know it is easy to be bitter about what happened, but choose to get better. Do not look backwards, look forwards. Stay positive, work hard, believe the best is yet to come. What you believe will determine what you create. It is important to remember that you cannot always control circumstances, but what you can control is your attitude and response to those circumstances. I am so proud of the class of 2020 and look forward to what the future holds for each one of you. Thank you.
Welcome, everyone. I'm glad to be speaking in front of such a wonderful group today. We are surrounded by administration, teachers, friends, parents who say they love their children, and parents who actually love their children. I'm honored to be standing here representing the class of 2020. On behalf of the graduates, I would like to thank you for joining us on this special occasion. Graduation is a time of reflecting on the past and looking onward into the future. It is the time that we, as graduates, get together for one last hurrah before moving on to bigger and better adventures. And the best part of the graduation, just like a third grade dance recital, is when it ends. We have endured countless homework assignments, what feels like endless state testing and final exams. We have gone through different teachers, principals, and administration. We have worked many hard years for this moment and a diploma, which if the system worked well, you're able to read. After graduation, we will turn the page in our lives. We have moved from childhood into adulthood, and now it is time to find our passion. It's time to learn what we want to be if we haven't figured out or followed the dream we have. So parents, open up your wallets because studying philosophy isn't cheap. I would like to thank our teachers that we have had through the years. They have taught us so much wisdom, knowledge, and overall life skills. They have always been there for us and turned us into the strong men and women we are today. And thank you for understanding that dogs can eat anything from worksheets to gym shorts. I would like to leave my fellow classmates with a few words of advice. The road to success is dotted with many tempting parking spaces, but persevere. It could be your purpose in life to warn others what not to do, and always remember that you are unique, just like everyone else. And finally, I would like to leave the audience with one last note. Is it 2021 yet? Thank you.
September 4th, 2007, the first day of kindergarten. That is when our journey as Strasburg Tigers began. We've come a long way, and we've made a lot of memories since that day. Today, as we graduate, I thought that it would be nice to look back on some of the good times we've had together. As a class, we have made many memories inside and outside of the school building. While we have learned a lot in grades K through 5, it's probably safe to say that some of the best memories from elementary school happened on the playground. Everyone remembers how great it was to have recess, right? We'd run around, burn off some energy by playing many games such as infection, football, basketball, and my personal favorite, wall ball. I don't know what girls did. Probably braided hair, talked about their dolls. I don't know. Anyway, back to what I remember. While we enjoyed these games, I think that our elementary teachers would agree that our skill for standing on the wall instead of actually having recess, because of how talkative our class was outstanding. Another fond memory that I have, or the time I spent in the elementary wing, would be Mr. Metz's ability to punch holes in your punch card. Think back to being 10 or 11. You're sitting in class, whispering to your friend, thinking you're sly and you're not going to get caught, only to find out by the time you turn around, your punch card looks like Swiss cheese. He had the ability to work that whole bunch like the conductor on the Polar Express. We all learned pretty quickly that it's hard to pull a fast one on Mr. Metz, but that didn't keep us from trying. As we moved to middle school, we were able to experience several overnight trips that helped us bond together. These trips included 6th grade camp and visiting D.C. and Philadelphia in the 8th grade. What I remember most from these trips, and a lot of you guys probably do as well, was Mr. Hirschberger threatening to make us run laps if we didn't stop misbehaving. We all knew we couldn't pass the pacer test, so we turned it down a notch. Out of the 13 years that we spent together at Strasburg, I believe that the most valuable memories were made during high school. The moments that stand out to me would be being in Mr. Nussbaum's class, trying not to fall asleep watching Dave Ramsey, and him informing us about Nicholas Copernicus and on the revolutions of the heavenly bodies. Playing werewolf and Risk with Mr. Jones. Mr. R's daily class reminders to ELE, everybody love everybody. Asking Miss Burge if Walker and I could be partners every day in class. Mr. McClellan's We Didn't Start the Fire project. Watching I Love Lucy with Miss Ripley. Learning calculus at the Cross Cafe with Mr. Wade. Mr. Pumphrey's Friday quizzes. All of Dr. Christie's awesome computer classes. Miss Horn's fiestas, and Miss Fireball's Mardi Gras parties. Outside of school, most of my memories with the members of the class of 2020 revolved around sports. This began as far back as preschool. Everyone remembers playing Pee Wee football from 3rd to 6th grade, baseball from T-ball through Pony League, along with participating in the Tiger Mites basketball program and playing numerous sports throughout high school. But one memory from these sports, from when we were younger, that still haunts me and probably haunts other people is sitting at Pee Wee football practice and seeing Britt Hostetler's yellow truck roll up to the practice field. Just the sight of that truck sent chills down our spines because we knew if he showed up to practice, we were going to endure at least 2 hours of straight running. One practice in particular involved Britt making each of us run a Jericho, which for those of you that don't know what a Jericho is, it's around the whole fence of the practice field, around the baseball field, and right back, which that's a pretty far run for a little fourth grader. I mean, geez. And he did that every time we didn't do something right. which happened to be every play we ran that day. This may be the reason why I stopped pursuing my career in football. Thanks a lot, Britt. Seriously, though, sports were not the only activities that brought us together and allowed us to make memories. We also did many things throughout the Berg that we will remember for years to come, including the Tree Fort Olympics at Daniel Trifolos' house, fires at Charlie Willis's backyard, playing park ball, riding bikes around town, and pool parties at my house, just to name a few. Growing up and attending school in a small town has been a great experience. We were lucky to be in the same school together for the past 13 years and to have caring, funny, and inspirational teachers who taught us more than the required curriculum. We were also fortunate to have the support of a fine community and a parent group that is like no other. I'm extremely grateful to everyone who has made an impact on my life, including my teachers, coaches, parents, grandparents, and classmates. It has been said that sometimes you don't know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. My friends in the class of 2020, I've enjoyed making memories with you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to start by saying thank you for all the support throughout the years and the opportunity to be here today. Although this is not the typical graduation ceremony that we expected and envisioned these past 13 years, we have much to be thankful for. First, we have the memories to be thankful for. We're a pretty small class, and we are lucky to have the opportunity to grow together because we are so small. Most of us have known each other since kindergarten. We all used to play on the blacktop of the old school together for recess or play a brutal game of wall ball with that terrible rubber ball. Some of us even got married in our elementary days during recess. You know who you are. The memories and experiences are what shaped us into who we are today. Secondly, we have the teachers and those in the community who have taught us and influenced us in the paths we will take in the future. We see these people almost every day for 9 months, so they are bound to have an influence on us. We are surrounded by people who can impact our lives. Teachers, friends, and parents are just a few. For me, the person who has taught me the most throughout my life has been my mom. She was always the biggest supporter in sports, academics, and anything else I was involved in. She taught me the importance of education and motivated me to be hardworking and successful just like her. What I am today is a result of her resilience and how great of a role model she was. We can also be thankful for the friendships we have made. There have been friendships made as long ago as kindergarten that have survived until now. There are some friendships that are new, and we have been lucky enough to meet people in many different ways. Playing sports together and meeting others through Buckeye or CCP are a couple ways we have found some of our best friends. These friendships will last a lifetime, and we are lucky to have found these people so early in life. Lastly, we can be thankful for finally getting out of high school. It's been a long 13 years, and I'm sure the teachers are equally as happy, if not more, to get rid of us. As we move on to the next chapter of our lives, I want you, my classmates, to take all these memories and lessons and use them as you make decisions going forward. Choices that will have a positive impact on yourself and those around you, ones that will make a difference. Take these memories and tell stories to your kids and grandkids about your crazy high school experiences and how we were by far the senior skip day champions. Thanks, Corona. Never stop caring for your community and giving back like they gave to us. And lastly, congratulations to you all. Every one of you have deserved this diploma. You've earned it.
Good afternoon. I'd like to start off by saying, wherever you're watching this, whether it be from your home or from the drive-in, I hope this video finds you well. Margaret J. Wheatley once said that there is no power for change greater than a community discovering what it cares about. Now you may ask, what is it that our community cares most for? It didn't take me very long to come up with an answer to this question. The Strasburg community cares most for its people, students, faculty, and everyone else involved in the community. For those of you who don't know, I haven't always lived here in Strasburg. I didn't move here until 4th grade. Before that point, I had lived in North Dakota, and even before that, the state up north. And yes, North Dakota is just as cold as you think it would be. In total, I have attended 3 schools and have been supported by 3 different communities in 3 different states. There's no doubt in my mind that Strasburg has always shown the most support for its school and community. This support has shown especially strongly in the past few weeks with everything that's going on. We've already had 3 events to honor us seniors, while my friends in Michigan or North Dakota haven't even had a single event to honor them.
The community has been so supportive of us seniors in these troubling times. When we first moved to Ohio and my parents were trying to decide where to live, they had been looking into Strasburg and Bolivar, but they had heard stories of how Strasburg refused to consolidate schools despite its small size. They were told that it was the community who pushed to avoid consolidation. So even when we first moved here, we felt the community support then. We were amazed when we went to our first Strasburg basketball game after a couple years and saw the support there. We had expected the players' parents and maybe a couple sports fanatics to be there, so imagine our surprise when we saw what looked like the whole town of Strasburg in the gymnasium. But the town's support extends far past sports. For example, Strasburg alumni always show immense support for their alma mater. For the past 2 years, we've had Past Bodmer Avenue speaking series that alumni from all different ages come back and they answer questions about their lives and their careers and their experiences of growing up in Strasburg. They also offer advice to us as we continue on into adulthood. Alumni from the class of 1964 have even established a scholarship fund that us seniors apply for to help pay for college and further education. Speaking of scholarships, graduating seniors are given a stack about this thick of scholarships every year. All of these scholarships come from people and organizations from within Strasburg. It's not some big corporation sending in scholarships to numerous schools. In speaking with friends from my other schools, not every community offers scholarship opportunities like this. It is evident that the Strasburg community wants us to improve ourselves and advance to do great things, and they want to help us do this in whatever ways they can. The support of the Strasburg community is truly unmatched and unlike anything I have ever seen before. So to our community, thank you for your unwavering support for us and the school. To all the parents of graduating seniors, thank you for taking us all in and treating us like your own kids. Thank you for all the rides you gave us, meals you've cooked for us, and support you've always shown us. And finally, to my fellow graduates, thank you for everything. Thank you for all the memories, all the laughs, and all the stupid jokes. I can honestly say that there isn't a better group I'd rather graduate with. Here's to new beginnings with the same great friends.
It has gone by way too fast. See how many times you'll be thinking those words by the end of this today. I'm sure that every single person graduating here today can recount at least one of the hundreds of times where someone, parent, teacher, administrator, or graduate, has said something along the lines of, "Don't grow up too fast." You've heard it so often that your mind basically shuts off anytime someone makes it as far as "don't grow." So, as a result, you've got 37 kids mindlessly running around for 17 years doing whatever it is kids in Strasburg do. That is, until they get to where we have gotten, to the point where graduation is staring at them right in the eyes. Suddenly, those words about growing up too quickly reemerge and bounce around within the caverns of your mind rather than bouncing off them, and you wonder where all that time went. Surely it hasn't been 18 years already. It's all felt like a long, wonderful dream where there's been nothing to worry about besides having as much carefree fun as humanly possible and spending your time with the people you care about. There are few things more depressing than celebrating a day that is, in one way at least, a commemoration of the end of our childhoods, but we should not let that thought bring us down. Instead, we should bask in the lovely memories that we have made and revel in the nostalgia of it all, appreciating every piece we've ever come to know. Rather than looking at today as the end of something great, let us look at it as the beginning of something even greater, the beginning of a new path with infinite and unlimited potential accessible by everyone. There's no doubt in my mind that the future has great things planned for the class of 2020, and I stand in excitement today thinking about what my friends will accomplish as they walk down this path of glorious possibility. I wish for nothing more for everyone graduating today than for them to meet success, but as I say this, I must add some fine print. Success is self-defined. It is not something solely achieved by becoming the CEO of some multi-million-dollar corporation, though it can be. Success can be many things. For some of my friends, success will be starting a loving family of their own. For others, success will be diving headfirst into everything the world has to offer. And for others, it might be leaving an impact on the world as a whole. The point is, find your own genuine path to fulfillment and chase it. Chase it until you catch it, and then use it to help others where you can. Before I end this speech and grab my diploma, I would like to take a moment to thank every single person who has made this day possible. I'm not talking about just the people who put this graduation together, but the people who guided us up to this point as well. Thank you to every single teacher I've ever had for being so patient and for being so wonderful with everything you've ever done. You guys are the real reason why any of us are up here today. Thank you to the administration for making sure everything runs as it does. Thank you to the lunch ladies for making sure everyone has something to eat every day. Thank you to the janitors for making sure that the school is clean and welcoming for everyone that enters. And lastly, thank you to the entirety of the community for giving my friends and I such a nurturing place for us to grow up in. Nothing would be how it is if not for the sheer generosity of the kind people of Strasburg. So, a big thank you to everyone, but if you don't mind, I've got a diploma to get.
Every year for graduation, I always choose a children's book to help me to inspire you. This year, I chose to share with you a lighthearted, upbeat book, The Sky is the Limit, a celebration of the things you can do, by Lisa Swirling. A world full of wonder is waiting for you. The sky is the limit of what you can do. There are roads to be traveled and dreams to unfold, magic to conjure and tales to be told. Cakes to be gobbled and spoons to be licked, cupboards to hide in and friends to be tricked. Feet to be tickled and backs to be scratched, maps to be followed and plans to be hatched. Bikes to be ridden and fences to mend, fortunes to squirrel and fortunes to spend. Trees to be clambered and bubbles to pop, lakes to be dived in and bellies to flop, costumes to dazzle and parties to throw, rainstorms to run in and flowers to grow, teams to be part of and trophies to shine, beans to be planted and beanstalks to climb, knots to untangle and boats to be sailed, hills to be rolled down and peaks to be scaled, causes to work for and letters to write, stars to sleep under, friends to hold tight, lives to imagine and hands to be held, poems to whisper and songs to be yelled, lessons to learn and books to be read, each holding a glimpse of what lies ahead, on land and by air and in dreams that come true, with blue skies and sunshine, this world awaits you. As you graduate, there are many sweet, funny, delightful, and happy, life-changing experiences that await you. From this day forward, you will be faced with many, many opportunities. Remember to keep a positive attitude and be open to adventures that come into your life. Your future is bright, and there's so much to look forward to. On behalf of the Strasburg Franklin staff and Board of Education, we congratulate you and we wish you an awesome future.
It is my pleasure to now introduce our special presenter for today, Sheriff Orvis Campbell. Orvis Campbell is proudly serving his first term as Sheriff of Tuscarawas County. Sheriff Campbell began his service to the county in 1990 as a probation officer for Tuscarawas County Juvenile Court Judge George J. Demas. In 1994, Campbell was hired as a deputy sheriff and was promoted to detective in 1997, and then worked his way up through several ranks as an investigator before being elected sheriff in November of 2016. He is also an instructor for the Ohio Peace Officers Training Academy and is a member of the International Homicide Investigators Association and is a graduate of the 256th session of the FBI National Academy in Quantico, Virginia. Campbell is an active member of the community. He is active in the Tuscarawas County Anti-Drug Coalition and a board member for the United Way of Tuscarawas County and for Noah's Hope Child Advocacy Center. Sheriff Campbell is a proud supporter and member of the Tuscarawas County Farm Bureau. He is a former board member for Harbor House and the county's domestic violence shelter and substance abuse halfway house for women. He is also a member of the Personal and Family Counseling Service as well as the Adams Board of Tuscarawas and Carroll counties. Sheriff Campbell was proudly voted Ohio's Outstanding Law Enforcement Officer for 2018 by the Ohio Prosecuting Attorneys Association. Campbell is a lifelong resident of Tuscarawas County. He and his wife, Michelle, have 4 children. It is my pleasure to introduce Sheriff Orvis Campbell.
All right, welcome students, families, and faculty. I want to begin by congratulating the 2020 graduating class here at Strasburg High School. I am sure that when you all thought about graduation 3 or 6 months ago, it didn't look anything like this. I was so honored when they first asked me to come and address you guys, but here I am speaking to a big empty room. This has just been one weird year. But I'm still very honored. And you guys know better than most that life, much like this graduation, does not always go as planned. But you, class of 2020, are a class of firsts. I'm told you're the first class to graduate after going your entire career, your entire school career in this new Strasburg High School campus. You're also the first graduating class that can say that you played a major role in saving the world by laying around and doing nothing and playing video games. As a parent, I can tell you that that's difficult to accept. So here I am, a small county sheriff, and I just want to offer you some tidbits of advice moving forward in your life. I want to begin by telling you that it is important to keep learning. You see, education is a silver bullet to most of life's problems. Knowledge is power, and you need to keep learning so that you can conquer your life. And those learning opportunities are all around you. They don't have to be in a classroom. I have learned a great many lessons from so many people. Now, I realize that studies show that most individuals many years down the road won't remember who their guest speakers were. But I certainly hope you'll remember a couple of the stories. For example, I learned one of my greatest lessons from people I've never even met. Many, many years ago, families from a small town in Italy moved to eastern Pennsylvania and named their new town after their beloved home in Italy, Rosetta, Pennsylvania. See, they came to chase the American dream, but they were different, and it didn't take long for us Americans to notice it. Now, we weren't sure what made them different. See, they drank the same water, they worked the same occupations, and not easy occupations either. Miners, quarries, occupations where they inhaled a lot of dust and dirt. They had the same social status, but we saw very quickly that they had a much lower mortality rate. Heart disease almost didn't exist. There was no crime. Forget the Mediterranean diets of olive oil and light foods and salads. No, not these guys. The people from Rosetta, they fried their meatballs and their other meats in lard, and they drank and they smoked and they ate salami and cheeses, things that were, full of cholesterol. So how was their mortality rate so low? Well, in the 1960s, they caught the eye of the government, and a team of scientists descended on Little Rosetta, Italy, and they took over the town hall. And they took over this town hall and they began poring over records, studying every death certificate from this little town. And they interviewed the doctor and they interviewed the townspeople, and they just observed the way life was. And then it became clear why they were so different. You see, these families, they moved from Italy in 3 generations, and each home had a generation of grandparents, parents, and children. They brought them here for the American dream, but they lived differently. Their entire life was about this community and was about their families. The neighbors, they placed their picnic tables between their homes and they ate together in a communal way. They didn't put them behind their homes and surrounded by 6-foot fences. So as the government and these team of scientists began to study what was different, they observed how close the community was. They observed a small town parade that was almost a joke because hardly anybody watched it because everybody was part of it. And the conclusion was really clear. The difference between this group was the fact that they learned that people nourish other people. And that's one lesson I'd like you to take away from this today, is understanding that true happiness and success is going to come from other people. It's not going to come from the objects in life. Another lesson I'd like you to consider is there is no such thing as a self-made man or woman. Now, my life began very humbly, and I was from a relatively poor family, and my home was condemned by the health department my senior year. That was a difficult and embarrassing year for me, as my home was right across from my school. It was covered on the front of the local newspaper, and it was a difficult time to get through. And a lot of people like to credit me with maybe picking myself up from that time and moving forward on my own, but that couldn't be more further from the truth. Those who have been successful have been lifted up and had doors opened for them by many others. This I can assure you, the more good and caring people you surround yourself with, the happier and more successful you will be. Invest your time, energy, and money in those people, and it will reap the benefits of those investments. Pay no attention to those who never step into the arena, as President Teddy Roosevelt said. Ignore and separate yourself from those who live to second guess and criticize others, for the disease of being overly judgmental is far more dangerous than any other and will doom your happiness and success. Next, growth and learning can never stop. It just can't. We must all learn to grow like lobsters. Now, I know what you're thinking. Did he just say lobsters? But I did. You see, lobsters have a hard shell. That shell keeps them safe, but eventually, if they want to continue to grow, they must shed the safety of that hard shell. They must take a risk. So lobsters eventually become very uncomfortable in the shell because they can grow no more, and they shed that shell. And then they back into a small space surrounded by large rocks to protect themselves while they grow a larger shell. Their potential for growth is now great. We must become uncomfortable to grow. We must step out of our comfort zones just like the lobster. However, unlike the lobster, we do not protect ourselves with rocks. We do it with those whom we surround ourselves. That's our clan. Be respectful and empathetic. Empathy is the ability to truly be present. It's the ability to hold a safe place for others, to feel their own emotions completely, and to be able to understand their experience. Empathy is one of the most vital of emotional fitness skills. You may not realize it now, but you will see that displaying empathy for others will get you much farther than just about anything else. Helping others through hard times throughout your life will present you with an army that are ready to help you through your hard times when that time comes. Another tough lesson that you'll have to realize is that you will fail. It's certain. You may fail often. If you never fail, then I can assure you you're not living life correctly. Take the calculated risks. Go ahead and fail. Then stand back up smarter and stronger and go succeed. So you, class of 2020, you are known to the world as the demographic cohort Generation Z. And if you listen to too many of us old folks like me, you may be convinced that you are lazy and the world may be doomed. Do not believe it. Your generation, just like everyone before it, will likely have some that underachieve. But it is my experience, as someone who hires a great deal of young people, that you are filled with incredible talent, and that your talents and your contributions will make a great deal to move this world forward. You're intelligent, you're hardworking. You work different than my generation did, and that's okay. You can do things with technology that we could never dream of. You are idealistic, connected, and you want to save the world. Whether my generation says it out loud or not, we need you, and we're excited to have you entering adulthood. Now, adulthood isn't easy. You do have responsibilities to society. You owe it to those whom helped you get here the effort to reach your potential. Your parents, grandparents, teachers, and mentors have invested in you, and you owe them for their investment. But adulthood gives you endless opportunity to grow and prove your self-worth, to make this world better, and that in turn makes your life better. A short time ago, your little circle lost a young woman who left our world much too early. I didn't know her, but make no mistake, she was part of our Tuscarawas County clan. Ariel left behind a little boy and a family that will struggle to know why. I pray for them and I pray for you. Make no mistake, though, this tragedy is an opportunity for each one of you to contribute to your clan. There are many ways to do that, and I'm asking you, what will you do? So not long ago, you were high school students. You were kids. Today, you are this community's future and this country's future. And because of that, I believe our future is looking very bright. So take a moment to enjoy this accomplishment and then start building that circle of family and friends that will take you where you want to go. Strasburg High Class of 2020, I salute you. Thank you.
As principal, it is now my honor to present the class of 2020. These students have persevered for 13 years to reach this point in their lives. Today, we are here to honor these 34 students. Strasburg Board of Education President, Ms. Robin Burkett, members of the Strasburg Board of Education, Superintendent Mrs. Cindy Brown, esteemed faculty and staff, and those that have had a direct impact on each one of these students' lives. I hereby certify that these seniors have met the requirements set forth by the Strasburg Franklin Local School District Board of Education and the Ohio Department of Education. I now present to you the class of 2020. Gracie Kate Clement. Remy Austin Caldwell. Stephen John Delcoma. Ashley Caitlin Downham. Morgan Rose Gerber. Allison Nicole Graybill. John Roy Graybill. Titus Alexander Hathaway. Hugh Stewart Hill III. Amber Lynn Jones. Kyler James Kaiser. Haley Lynn Lambert. Lauren Nicole Molson. Cecilia Rose McCracken. Quentin Dylan McGraw. Mason Andrew Metz. Eden Selena Monticelli. Matthew James Newsom. Fallon Lou Patterson. Holly Amber Patton. Kane Brendan Peters. Gage Alexander Petrie. Vidalia Jean Porter. Walker 2 Riley. Tyler Scott Shetler. Rebecca Grace Schultz. Ariel Lynn Stout. Rebecca Lynn Zagolski. Daniel Stephen Trifolis. Gustus William Wilhelm. Charles Jonathan Willis. Lauren Wanshin Wirt. Briar Joseph Burlingame. Brooklyn Elizabeth Johnson. Jace David Watkins. At this time, I now ask that all graduates stand as Gracie Clement leads us in the turning of the tassel. It is now my honor to present to you for the first time the Strasburg High School graduated class of 2020.
If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, I'll sail the world to find you. If you ever find yourself lost in the dark and you can't see, I'll be the light to guide you. Find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh, ooh, yeah. If you're tossing and you're turning and you just can't fall asleep, I'll sing a song beside you. And if you ever forget how much you really mean to me, every day I will remind you. Oh, find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh, ooh, yeah, yeah. You'll always have my shoulder when you cry. I'll never let go, never say goodbye. You know you can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh, ooh, you can count on me 'cause I can count on you.